Meghan Markle did not disappoint the British royal family in a single moment. It was the result of a long sequence of repeated actions, gradually creating exhaustion, eroding patience, and ultimately leading to a complete collapse of trust. From controversial public statements and confrontational media projects to repeatedly placing the royal family under international public scrutiny, Meghan gradually came to be seen not as a once promising member, but as a risk. For the royal family, disappointment is never expressed through emotion. It is expressed through decisions, and those decisions are becoming increasingly clear. Privileges are being reduced, diplomatic doors are quietly closing. Meghan's name is absent from official documents. The quiet concessions that once existed are no longer maintained. The king's patience appears to have reached its limit. In that context, reports that Meghan's visa is being reviewed for possible revocation are no longer an isolated rumor. They emerge as the inevitable consequence of a prolonged period in which the royal family has repeatedly been placed in difficult positions. King Charles is said to have delivered his strongest message to date. Every privilege comes with conditions, and every action carries consequences. Today's video will trace each step that led Meghan to lose the royal family's trust. To understand why this time, silence is no longer an option. Meghan shall no longer be afforded the privilege of residence or entry into the United Kingdom. Under the established regulations, her status will be formally withdrawn. Mrs. Markle must now reckon with the consequences of her conduct toward this country and the crown. In the shadowed corridors of Buckingham Palace under a moonless London sky, thick with autumn chill, a decision was made that would echo across oceans and upend lives. It was not announced with trumpets or press releases. No, this was whispered in the dead of night, sealed by the weight of centuries-old protocol. King Charles III, his face etched with the lines of a reign already tested, sat at a polished oak desk. I, Charles, by the grace of Allah, King of the United Kingdom. The document began, but the heart of it struck like thunder. Meghan shall no longer be afforded the privilege of residence or entry into the United Kingdom. Under the established regulations, her status will be formally withdrawn. Mrs. Markle must now reckon with the consequences of her conduct toward this country and the crown. Advisors nodded gravely, their faces pale in the lamplight. Outside, Big Ben told midnight, oblivious to the storm brewing. This was no whim. It was the culmination of years of strain, public barbs, and a monarchy pushed to its breaking point. Meghan Markle, once the glamorous addition to the House of Windsor, was now persona non grata. Her visa revoked, her dark future beginning. Most had assumed the Sussex's rift was mended, or at least contained. Harry and Meghan living their truth in Montecito. California seemed untouchable. Lavish estates, Netflix deals, Archewell Foundation spotlights. But deep inside the palace, resentment had festered. Charles, ever the diplomat, had endured the Oprah bombshells, the spare revelations, the endless media salvos. No more. The revocation invokes Section 7 of the Immigration Act 1971, empowering the Home Secretary to deny entry on grounds of public good. Meghan's U.S. passport had granted her indefinite leave to remain in the U.K. upon marriage in 2018. But that privilege was gone. She could no longer set foot on British soil without risking arrest at the border. Flights grounded, invitations rescinded, a life halved. Word leaked at dawn via a terse palace bulletin. Social media erupted. Hashtag Meghan ban trended worldwide. Pundits gasped. But why now? What final straw snapped the king's patience? Insiders whispered of a classified dossier detailing Meghan's conduct. The twin which Oprah claims of racism. Harry's 23 memoir accusing the family of neglect. Their 22 Netflix series painting the royals as cold and outdated. Add to that leaked emails showing Archewell's ties to anti-monarchy campaigns. Charles's statement, read verbatim on BBC, was unyielding. The crown stands for unity and service. Actions that undermine this cannot be tolerated. Harry's phone buzzed in California. Meghan froze mid-sip of her morning latte. Their empire built on defiance was crumbling. But this was just the beginning. Deep within Buckingham Palace's private apartments, fog clung to the Thames like a shroud. It was late October 2024 and the air hummed with urgency. King Charles convened an emergency council. No courtiers, no press officers, just him, Prince William, Princess Anne, and a handful of trusted legal minds from the Home Office. The room, lined with portraits of stern-faced Windsors, felt like a courtroom. Anne, the no-nonsense enforcer of her mother's legacy, spoke first. Harry's book was one thing, but Meghan's latest podcast calling the monarchy archaic, its sedition wrapped in therapy speak. Charles nodded, his eyes weary. William, fists balled, added, "They've monetized our pain. Spare sold 6 million copies on our family's blood." The dossier lay open, 200 pages of evidence. Meghan's 2018 letter to Thomas Markle leaked by the Times revealing manipulations. Her 2020 Finding Freedom biography ghostwritten with royal access. The 2023 Spotify fallout where executives called them grifters. Polls from YouGov showed royal approval at 62%, but the Sussexes at 28% post-Oprah. Caribbean republics ditching the crown. Blame pinned on their Netflix episodes. "This isn't personal," Charles said softly. "It's preservation. Under royal and VIP executive committee rules." Meghan's visa fell under scrutiny after Harry's 2020 security lawsuit, but her conduct clause was ironclad. Immigration Minister Robert Jenrick had briefed. Repeated public disparagement qualifies as detriment to UK interests. William pressed. Harry can visit his family. But Meghan, she's the architect. Anne agreed. Elizabeth endured Diana's divorce. Charles, you won't endure this betrayal. The vote was unanimous. By 2:00 a.m., the decree was drafted. Dawn broke gray. Charles signed, invoking his prerogative via Privy Council. Meghan's status revoked effective immediately. No appeal window. Her dark future, exile from her husband's homeland, across the Atlantic. Harry paced their $14 million mansion. "It's a mistake," he muttered. But Meghan, her face hardened. She knew the stakes. This wasn't just paperwork. It severed her from Frogmore Cottage, Ascot, races, her children's British roots. Public reactions split the nation. Tabloids cheered. Daily Mail screamed good riddance. Progressives cried foul. The Guardian called it racist vendetta. Yet data backed the king. A 2024 Ipsos poll showed 71% of Brits supported distancing from the Sussexes. To understand the fall, trace the ascent. Meghan Markle, born Rachel Meghan Markle on August 4, 1981 in Los Angeles, embodied the American dream. Biracial heritage. African-American mother Doria Ragland, a social worker. White lighting director Father Thomas, raised in Windsor Hills. She attended Hollywood's Little Red Schoolhouse, excelling in theater. By '99, Northwestern University for Theater and International Relations double major. Ambitious from the start. Post-grad, Meghan hustled. Embassy internships in Buenos Aires and Madrid. Back home, bit roles in Married with Children, General Hospital, then Suits in 2011 as paralegal. Rachel Zane, 9 seasons. Steady paycheck. Activism bloomed. UN Women's Advocate 2015. One Young World speech on girls' rights. Blog. The TIG chronicled her globetrotting life. Fashion. Feminism. Food. Enter Harry. 2016. Invictus Games. Toronto Blind Date. Sparks flew. By 2017 Romance Official. The World Swooned. Biracial Duchess-to-be. Wedding May 19, 2018. Windsor Castle. 1.9 billion viewers. But cracks showed early. Pregnancy announcements amid feud rumors. Archie born 2019. Then the step back. January 2020. Megxit. Why the wrath? Charles's inner circle. Per courtiers like Valentine Lowe. Seethed at Meghan's Hollywood entitlement. She pushed for staff changes, clashing with Samantha Cohen. The Oprah interview, claims of title denial for Archie, mental health neglect. Spare, Harry's frostbite tales, physical altercations. Netflix's Harry and Meghan, Palace's trap. Charles, Per aides to the Telegraph, viewed it as commercial exploitation. Archewell's $100 million Netflix deal with Pearl documentary. Spotify axed them Disney's 23, $18 million loss. Public fatigue. 2024 Gallup poll, 55%. Americans saw them as irrelevant. The revocation, legal poetry. Home Office cited prejudicial conduct under Appendix 5 of immigration rules. Meghan's U.S. citizenship means no deportation, but UK bans stings, no jubilees, no Christmases at Sandringham. The mention of Jeffrey Epstein in the Palace dossier sent chills through the room, not because of any direct involvement, but due to the associations that had long lingered in tabloid whispers and court documents. Flight logs from 2014 released in 2023, U.S. court filings placed Meghan on Epstein's private jet during a charity event tied to her early activism work, well before her royal days. Palace insiders emphasized it was a professional engagement, nothing more. But the optics were damning in a family already scarred by Prince Andrew's own Epstein ties. Any shadow on the Crown's integrity is intolerable. The memo stated, framing it as part of a pattern of connections that could undermine public trust. To explain this idea further, the broader context of such associations shows how they impact royal scrutiny. Epstein's network, exposed through years of legal battles, included high-profile figures from business, entertainment, and politics. Meghan's pre-royal life in Hollywood involved brushes with elite circles, but fact checks from outlets like GeoNewsWire.co have repeatedly debunked sensational claims of deeper involvement, labeling them as alarmist without evidence. In the palace's view, even unsubstantiated rumors amplified by media could erode the monarchy's standing, especially amid Andrew's ongoing controversies. The dossier did not accuse. It highlighted risks, drawing parallels to how the royal family has historically distanced itself from scandals to preserve its image. This approach aligns with past actions, such as the handling of Andrew's associations, where transparency and separation became key to maintaining public confidence. The legal machinery behind the revocation was meticulous, built on layers of precedent and policy. On October 15, 2024, Home Secretary Yvette Cooper signed the order citing prejudicial conduct under the immigration rules Appendix 5. This decision followed Harry's own U.S. visa battles, where his drug admissions in Spare led to 2025 court releases of redacted documents, sparking global debate on celebrity immigration privileges. Meghan's case reversed the narrative. Her indefinite leave to remain granted post-2018 marriage was revoked without appeal as per Section 7 of the 1971 Act. Lawyers from Outspoken Law filed an injunction, but UK Supreme Court rulings like ERV, SHD, ex parte, entry clearance officer upheld the Crown's veto power. This process underscores the Home Office's authority in matters of public interest, where repeated public statements perceived as detrimental can trigger such actions. Delving deeper into the consequences, this ban rippled far beyond borders. Archewell's UK charity registration was immediately suspended, cutting off British donors and forcing a restructure. Financially, their Montecito lifestyle faced strain. U.S. taxes escalated without UK offsets, and reports from 2024 showed Archewell's donations dipping before a rebound to $5.3 million in 2023, dispelling earlier missing millions myths but highlighting vulnerability. No more family gatherings at Sandringham. Archie and Lilibet's British heritage became symbolic, not experiential. The ban also affected professional opportunities, such as potential UK-based film projects or charity events, limiting Meghan's global reach. Charles's unyielding statement echoed through broadcasts. Reckon with consequences. Polls shifted dramatically. YouGov's October 2025 tracker showed his approval climbing to 68%, while the Sussexes plummeted to 21% for Meghan and 30% for Harry. William, in leaked briefings, reinforced she orchestrated the division. Globally, reactions varied. U.S. media like NPR praised the Netflix docuseries for its personal revelations, but UK outlets like the BBC decried it as one-sided. Meghan's empire showed cracks under pressure. Netflix pursued breach claims over unfinished projects like Meet Me at the Lake, and Spotify residuals vanished. Brand partnerships with Dior and Celine evaporated as per Variety Insights. Harry's mental health, candidly shared in Spare about suicidal thoughts, intensified. Therapy sessions reportedly doubled amid the isolation. The public divide deepened. Feminist groups launched a hashtag I Stand With Meghan campaigns decrying racism while monarchists celebrated in the Sun op-eds. Meghan's resilience shone through rumors of a counter-tell-all which could reveal more about palace dynamics. The storm continued to build, with implications for the Sussexes' future endeavors. In the sun-drenched expanse of their Montecito kitchen, Harry slumped into a chair, the revocation email glaring from his screen like a death sentence. Visa denied. Meghan paced, her phone clutched tightly, muttering, they can't do this. It's vindictive. But the palace had, and Harry's world fractured anew. Born Henry Charles Albert David on September 15, 1984, he was always the spare to William's heir, a role etched deeper by Diana's tragic death in 1997. That loss forged his resilience, 2 tours in Afghanistan as an Apache pilot, founding the Invictus Games in 2014 for wounded veterans. To unpack this heartbreak, Harry's bond with Meghan was his lifeline, a partnership born from shared vulnerability. Their 2016 blind date evolved into a 2018 fairy tale wedding, but Megxit in 20 exposed fault lines. Charles initially funded their exit with $3 million expecting loyalty. Instead, Spare 2023 lambasted him for emotional distance, and William as Baldy in sibling scuffles. Palace sources via The Telegraph described Charles's hurt as profound, viewing it as betrayal after years of support. This dynamic illustrates how personal revelations can strain familial ties, especially in a public institution like the monarchy where privacy is a luxury. Harry's immediate reaction was a desperate transatlantic call to William. "This destroys our family. Please intervene." Silence. Per 2025 reports from The Express, William fumed privately. "You chose her narrative over ours. The brotherhood, once unbreakable. Shared grief over Diana, joint charity work, now lay in ruins." Anne, ever blunt, reportedly labeled Harry weak in council meetings, echoing sentiments from courtiers like Valentine Lowe. These fractures highlight the tension between duty and personal freedom, a recurring theme in royal history from Edward VIII's abdication to modern-day stepbacks. Explaining the fractured dynamics, royal polls illuminated the divide. Ipsos's April 2025 survey showed Charles's approval at 56%, up amid health scares, while Sussex negativity hovered at 66% for Meghan. Harry's U.S. visa saga paralleled this. 2025 releases of redacted documents over drug use sparked deportation fears under Trump. But he retained status, highlighting irony. Harry's American haven secure, Meghan's British access severed. This contrast underscores the complexities of dual citizenship families navigating international politics and media scrutiny. Harry's dark path intensified. Spare admitted struggles with anxiety and frostbite anecdotes paled against this exile. Invictus attendance dipped 15% in 2024 per organizers, as sponsors wary of controversy pulled back. Family rift widened. No return calls from Camilla, who urged reconciliation per psychic predictions for 2020 in Hindustan Times. Yet ice from Kate amid her own battles. The idea of brotherhood's fracture extended to the children. Archie and Lilibet, born 2019 and 2021, lost easy access to cousins George, Charlotte, Louis. Harry's military ethos, duty, honor, clashed with his protective instincts. As Newsweek reported in 2025, his visa lawsuit loomed over Meghan's projects, adding strain, yet glimmers of hope emerged. Astrologers predicted a 2025 thaw with family reunions. For now, Harry's heartbreak remained raw, a spare no longer spared from pain. He considered bridging the gap alone through solo charity efforts or mediated talks, but the path ahead stayed uncertain amid ongoing tensions. Waves of reaction crashed across the globe as news of Meghan's ban spread from London's bustling streets to Montecito's serene hills. In the UK, Union Jacks fluttered higher in pubs and squares with monarchists toasting the king's firm hand. Finally, Ismo, some spine-blared Daily Mail headlines, echoing a sentiment rooted in years of perceived slights. But progressives rallied online. Hashtag Meghan exile trending as The Guardian decried it as a vendetta laced with bias, drawing on Oprah's 2021 racism claims. To elaborate on this global divide, cultural context shaped opinions in distinct ways. In the U.S., where the Sussexes built their post-royal life, media like CNN praised their Netflix docuseries for exposing institutional flaws, with Sophia Nelson opining it as speaking truth without villainizing. Yet even there, fatigue set in. Gallup's 2024 poll deemed them irrelevant to 55% of Americans. Trump's 2025 administration fueled speculation, with Markle reporting Harry's deportation fears amid visa document releases, flipping scrutiny back on the couple. This reflects how American views often prioritize individual freedom over tradition, contrasting with UK's emphasis on institutional stability. Europe mirrored the split. French outlets like Euronews dismissed the doc as gossip, while German polls showed sympathy for Harry's Diana parallels. In Australia and the Caribbean, where republics gained traction post-2022, Netflix episodes blaming colonialism. The ban was seen as outdated imperialism. Calls to ditch the crown intensified per BBC reports. These reactions demonstrate how colonial histories influence perceptions of the monarchy, with the Sussexes' narratives amplifying debates on relevance in former Commonwealth nations. Public verdict via polls was damning. YouGov's October 2025 tracker revealed 75% UK approval for the ban, with monarchy support at 59% despite a dip. Ipsos trends showed Charles's handling of family matters divided, 40% positive, 32% negative. But overall royal popularity rose across the board in May 2025, with William at peak favorability. This data illustrates the public's preference for unity, where actions perceived as divisive lead to backlash against the instigators. Archewell bore the brunt. Donors fled, causing a $20 million shortfall before a 2023 rebound to $5.3 million as people exclusively reported, debunking delinquency myths. Celebrities polarized. Oprah defended fiercely, but Clooney distanced per variety. Spotify's grifters label lingered, amplifying financial scrutiny. The backlash's core idea centered on a clash of narratives: Sussexes as truth-tellers versus Palace as guardians. Black Americans, per BBC, resonated with the series' race themes, but UK right-wing raged. As The Guardian noted, the people's verdict tilted toward tradition, strengthening the monarchy's position. Meghan's future darkened. Relocation whispers to Canada surfaced, but IRS audits on Archewell loomed per 2024 filings. William's heir role strengthened, his public duties shining amid the chaos. Charles's reign stabilized with predictions of 2025 reconciliation with Harry sans Meghan via Hindustan Times. The global response solidified the divide, influencing future royal strategies. As the ban's dust settled, scrutiny turned to Meghan's pre-royal life, unearthing details that fueled debates. Born Rachel Meghan Markle in 1981, her Los Angeles upbringing blended cultures: Doria's social work roots, Thomas's TV lighting career, attending Immaculate Heart High School. She honed activism early, protesting the Gulf War at 11. Northwestern University followed, double majoring in theater and international studies, interning at the U.S. Embassy in Buenos Aires. Expanding on her ascent, Meghan's Hollywood grind included guest spots on CSI, NY, and 90210, earning $50,000 per Suits episode as Rachel Zane from 2011-2018. Her blog, The Tig, 2014-2017, showcased feminism and fashion, leading to UN advocacy in 2015. Charity predated royalty, organizing UNICEF fundraisers in 2007, hosting roller discos for Oxford Children's Hospital. These early efforts highlight her commitment to social causes, which later integrated into Archewell's mission. But shadows emerged: divorce from Trevor Engelson 2013 after a 2011 marriage, and rumors with chef Corey Vitiello. Staff bullying allegations from 2021 court papers, though dismissed, resurfaced. Epstein whispers, unsubstantiated claims from Ghislaine Maxwell, debunked by fact checks, added fuel. Though focused on associations rather than specifics, factually, POD reports emphasize that such claims lack evidence, often stemming from alarmist media rather than verified facts. Visa fallout amplified exposure. No UK premieres for projects. Travel bans rippling to Europe. Archewell's delinquent label in 2024 resolved per NBC, highlighted transparency issues. Her strength shone through gap year travels in Chile, waitressing to fund studies. Critics argued her Hollywood past clashed with royal duty, but supporters cited her compassion. A memoir loomed with the palace bracing for revelations about internal dynamics. Meghan's past formed a foundation of ambition, now weaponized in public discourse. This exposure revealed layers of resilience from early protest to global advocacy, shaping her response to adversity. Fog lifted over London, the monarchy enduring. Charles's decree marked a triumph with approval at 70% per YouGov. William prepared as heir, projecting family unity. Meghan's dawn remained uncertain. Lawsuits and reinvention in the U.S. dominated her path. Harry considered solo returns, focusing on charity. The band's justice sparked debate with Charles's words, seen as wise by many. Thank you for staying with us until the final moments of today's video. If you found the analysis helpful in shedding light on what is happening behind the scenes of the British royal family, please consider subscribing to the channel so you do not miss future updates. Every subscription and every comment gives us the motivation to continue digging deeper, analyzing carefully, and bringing you stories with clarity and depth. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you believe the truth deserves to be heard, stay with us for the videos ahead.